Forget everything you've seen in the movies. Forget the fancy org charts. Today, we're going to look at the Mafia in the only way that really truly matters, as a career. Your career. So let's get started on your brutal, dangerous climb right to the very top.
All right, let's put you right in the middle of it. You see the shiny cars, you see the jewelry, you see the fear and the respect these guys command in your neighborhood, and you want in, badly. But the one question that's going to hang over this entire journey is pretty simple. What are you really willing to do to get it?
So your journey starts right here. The absolute bottom. You're not a member, you're not even a prospect. You're basically a ghost, just hoping, praying that someone important notices you for all the right reasons.
As a hangaround, you're nothing more than free labor. Seriously, you're fetching coffee, you're washing the boss's Cadillac, you're a gopher for men who could kill you just for looking at them the wrong way. But your real job? It's to be invisible and silent. They are constantly, and I mean constantly, testing you, your discipline, your loyalty, your ability to just keep your mouth shut. One little slip up, and you're not just gone. You're forgotten, like you never existed.
Okay, so you passed the first test. Now you're an associate. You're finally on the payroll, You're out there doing the dirty work, hijacking trucks, running sports books, maybe cracking a few heads. But here's the most important rule, and you better listen close. You do not keep what you earn. Every single week, a fat envelope full of cash has to go to your sponsor. They call it kicking up. And trust me, holding back isn't just frowned upon, it's a fatal mistake.
So let's be crystal clear about these first two steps. As a hangaround, you've got all of the risk for absolutely zero reward. As an associate, yeah, you're making some money, but you're also the guy out there breaking legs and facing down the FBI. Because, let's face it, you're hungry and you're disposable. If you get caught, the family owes you nothing. You do your time, you keep quiet, and you just pray that it's enough to finally move up.
All right, this next step, this is everything. This is the bright red line between being some disposable contractor and being a protected permanent member of the family. This is the moment your entire life has been building towards. So, you've been earning for years. Maybe you even did a prison stint and you didn't talk. Now you're a senior associate. You're on record with a captain. What does that mean? It means you belong to his crew. He protects you. But oh man, the scrutiny is more intense than ever. They're digging into your bloodline, and it has to be 100% Italian on your father's side. Any hint of a law enforcement informant anywhere in your family history, and you're done. Finished.
And then it happens. The call comes. You're told to put on your best suit. You're not told where you're going or why, but you know. You just know. This is the day. This is the most important invitation of your entire life, and it could very well be your last.
You walk into a room with the family's top leadership. On the table, there's a gun and a holy picture of a saint. They take your hand, they prick your trigger finger, and they let your blood drip right onto that saint. As the image burns in the palm of your hand, you take the oath of silence. Omerta. You swear your loyalty to the family above God, above country, and yes, even above your own wife and children.
And just like that, it's done. You are a made man, a soldier. You are now untouchable. Nobody, not a civilian, not an associate, not even a boss from another family can lay a single hand on you without getting permission first. An attack on you is a full-blown attack on the entire organization. Your life and what it's worth has just completely, fundamentally changed.
So you're in. You're a soldier. But don't for a second think the climb is over. In fact, it just got way more complicated. See, now it's less about doing the dirty work yourself and a lot more about managing the people who do it for you.
As a soldier, you might be a great earner, supervising all the rackets, or you might be a specialist. And if your specialty is violence, you become the enforcer. You're the one they send when a debt needs collecting forcefully. You are the family's terror mechanism. It's a necessary job for sure, but a very, very lonely one.
So, let's say your captain gets indicted or has let's call it a health problem. He points to you. All of a sudden, you're the acting capo. And let me tell you, this is like walking on a razor's edge. You have to run the crew perfectly to keep the money flowing up to your boss. But, and this is a huge but, if you do too good a job, if you look a little too comfortable in that chair, he might think you're trying to steal his seat for good. You have to be the boss, all while looking like you don't want the job at all. A captain, or a capo, is basically a mid-level executive in a very, very dangerous corporation. You run a whole crew of soldiers and associates, and you have two main goals. 1. Act as a buffer for the boss, and 2. Earn. You have a weekly quota you have to meet, and in this line of work, missing that quota means you're getting replaced, which almost always means you're getting executed.
You did it! You've managed your crew, you've earned consistently, and maybe most importantly, you've survived. Now we're moving into the executive suite. This is where the real power is, far, far away from the street.
The Consigliere, the counselor. This is the boss's most trusted advisor. It's a really unique position. See, you don't have a crew, you don't manage rackets, you just have the boss's ear. You're often the only person on Earth who can challenge his decisions without getting killed for it. You're not a threat to the throne, you are an essential tool for the throne.
You are the underboss, the chief operating officer. The boss sets the grand strategy, and you're the one who makes it happen. All the captains, they report directly to you. You are the insulation, the shield, protecting the boss from the street and from the law. You are also the heir apparent, which, by the way, makes you the #1 target for every single ambitious captain right below you.
Well, we've finally reached the very top, the final bloody step on the ladder. But gaining this kind of absolute power, it comes at an absolute cost.
You are the boss, the Capo to tutti capi, the father of the family. You whisper an order, and a few days later, a lifelong rival just disappears. You never touch a gun, you never touch the dirty money. You sit on the commission with the other family bosses, and together, you carve up the country like kings.
But here's the paradox of your new life. You have total power, but you have zero peace. The FBI has an entire squad of agents dedicated only to you. Your closest friends, the guys you came up with, are now your biggest threats. And listen to me, there is no retirement. You stay on that throne until you die, in a hospital, a prison cell, or on the pavement in front of a restaurant.
Which, brings us right back to that very first question. You have the power, you have the money, you have the respect. You have it all. Standing here at the very top of the pyramid, looking back on all the bodies and the betrayals that paved your way, was it worth it?